Guys, welcome to my channel. How's everybody doing today? I hope everybody's doing very well. I wanted to do a story time about how I ended up in the hospital and why and what all happened leading up to me going to the hospital. And first and foremost, I want to say thank you for all the love and support. You guys are amazing. Seeing all those beautiful comments and caring and kindness, and I mean, not that you aren't always, because you are, but when you don't feel good, they're definitely extra special, you know. So thank you so much, everybody. I love you so much. I'm sorry, I'm definitely still in recovery phase, but before I do start with my story, I just want to put a disclaimer. I am only talking about what happened to me and what I did. I am not a doctor. I am not telling anybody what to do when they are sick. If you're not feeling well, please be sure to contact your doctor or dial 911. And this is not advice in whatsoever. So I want to go back to Wednesday, May 8th. Wednesday, May 8th, very early in the morning. I woke up because Jesse had to go to the bathroom. I started down the hallway and I noticed I wasn't feeling right, and I started getting this strange weird feeling in my head, and everything started getting black, and I had already opened the door when it started getting really bad, and Jesse was outside, and I'm like, oh, I was just hoping Jesse would come back in. That's the dogs making all these noises. But I was hoping, oh, I hope he hurries and come back in. So I kept putting my head down between my knees, or, you know, down, and trying to get him to come back. He finally came back, and I thought, I just want to get to my bedroom so I could lay down, because I didn't know what was going on. So I went down the hallway and I got to the bathroom, and I thought, I'm not going to make it. I'm not going to make it. So I went into the bathroom and I passed out on the floor. I woke up. I seemed to be okay. I got myself up. I went to my bedroom. I went to bed. I was feeling very tired and exhausted, but I thought, okay, I seem okay. I'm just going to lay down and rest and take it easy. So that was early that morning. I felt okay the rest of the day. I didn't notice anything really alarming or problem-wise. And then we get to May 9th, which was my birthday. My friend Dee Dee had invited me out to lunch, and we went to a couple stores. But mind you, I was feeling as normal, always tired, but feeling as normal. We went to lunch. I went home, and I got home, and I thought, man, I'm so super exhausted, and I don't normally nap, so I thought, let me just lay down, take a nap, see if I feel a little bit better. So I laid down, and all of a sudden, and this is my first sign, I never ever knew I had a UTI until I was in the hospital and they tested everything, but now I realize now this was a sign, but I never had any signs whatsoever that I had a UTI. And I was laying on the couch and I was freezing to death. I was so cold. It was like 90 degrees outside. I had to turn off my air conditioner because I was freezing cold. So I'm laying there, and finally, I don't know, I think I laid there for a couple hours and I decided to get up. So I got up and I grabbed my phone, and I realized right away I'm not okay. And I barely made it, maybe 10 feet, and I started thinking, no, yeah, I'm gonna pass out. And so once again, I'm thinking, let me get to my bed, and there's a phone there, you know, and it feels like a safe place to me. I go down the hallway. I didn't make it. I could see everything turning black, weirdness in my head. I go down because I didn't want to fall from up high, so I started to bend down, and that was it. I went unconscious onto the floor. I don't know how long I was unconscious for. I woke up realizing I couldn't move. I literally couldn't move anything on my body. There was no energy, there was no strength, there was nothing. I literally couldn't even pick myself up or anything. I don't know how long I laid there for. It was for a while because and I don't know if I went in and out of consciousness. It's all very kind of confusing to me. But I laid there for the longest time. Then finally I thought, Christine, I kept calling out to Surrey, trying to get her to make phone calls because my phone had went down the hallway, and she wasn't working. And I thought, I have to get down the hallway. I got to call somebody. And which seemed like took forever, got myself turned around because I was face down, turned around, and I kind of scooched down the hallway. Well, by the time I got to the end of the hallway, I blacked out again, and I woke up leaning against the wall a little bit with my head. And I got up enough energy to get to a chair and grab my phone and sit at the table, keeping my head down low. And I debated for a long time, do I call 911 or do I not? And I kept trying to get up, and I couldn't get up. Every time I get up, I want to black out. Even sitting down, I wanted to black out. It was just crazy confusing. And I thought, something is not right. So I called 911. They came. While I was on the phone with 911, she said, is there any way you could get to the door and unlock it? And I said, I don't know. And she says, because if not, they have to break in. And I said, well, let me try. She goes, well, do it while you're on the phone with me so I know what's going on. So the door was only a few feet away, so it wasn't too bad. So I kind of held on, unlocked the door, and then sat right back down. They came in the house, did their assessments and all kinds of stuff, and told me that they felt that it would be best that I went to the hospital. And of course, at that time, I'm still debating, do I really need to go to the hospital? Because you know how people are. You're worried about the ambulance bill. You're worried about the hospital bill. And it seems like health is the third. And that's sad in today's society, because health should be number one, and you shouldn't have to be worried about being financially devastated by a hospital bill and emergency vehicle bill, which they are. But you guys know how I feel about the health insurance system. But so they take me by ambulance to the hospital, and of course they start running tests right away. And it was a few hours, and they're like coming back with little details. They told me, you have a UTI, and I said, well, I didn't know that I had one. That's probably why I was running a fever, because they said I was running a fever. That was the first day I was running a fever. Never ran a fever before that. Never had any signs or symptoms of it. But and I could hear him, the nurse, talking with the doctor and saying something about patient number 2, which I was in room number 2, and the doctor goes, whoa. But I didn't know what it was. And then they came back and told me that my potassium was so low that it could be life and death if you don't get it recouped. And so they put me on potassium pills right away in the emergency room. And they said also my magnesium was very low. And I was so weak and so tired. I literally felt like somebody just had, beat me up and whatever else. But they said, we're going to get you a room. We're going to keep you. And they take me up to the room. And a few hours later, they gave me more potassium pills and did another blood test, and it didn't even budge. And they're like, okay, we have to, start a PICC line, because we want to get this in as soon as we can, because you're still extremely low. So you guys saw I had a IV here, had IVs here, and then the PICC line was here. I had 4 bags of potassium. I'll go again next week to the doctor and get blood work. No, she won't do the blood work, but she'll send me out to do blood work. But she'll send me out to do blood work to make sure my potassium level is still okay. But it was probably one of the most scariest times of my life, to be by myself, going unconscious, not knowing what's going to happen. But when I was in the emergency room, my son showed up, and I was so out of it. I didn't even know. He told me I was saying all kinds of crazy stuff, and I didn't even realize it, because he said to me when he came there, he goes, I went to your home to make sure everything was okay, because he didn't know if 911 if they had to break in, or if I was able to unlock the door, or whatever was going on. And I asked him, I said, how do you know where asked him, how did he know where I lived? he lived here for 18 years. So, I mean, of course he would know where I live. But I was just saying crazy stuff like that and talking about crazy stuff. And it was just really weird. But I was in the hospital Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I did my little bit of videos if you want to check them out, or I had breakfast with you and talked about it. But that is what happened. They did tell me, had I not come to the hospital, I probably would have died, because my potassium was deadly low, and my urinary tract infection apparently was so bad, she said that she was surprised I didn't have sepsis already. So of course I went on heavy doses of antibiotic per IV, plus I'm on them, well, I'm done now, but I was on them at home to finish up the whole, cycle. But I never knew that a UTI could be life-threatening and cause all these problems. Potassium, I know you have to have this in your body and it to be that low. And that's what the doctor was saying whoa about. I found out later in the emergency room when he told him something, and he's like, whoa, But it's just crazy how everything went, and not knowing anything and going from one extreme, like I was fine, to almost dying, But I am feeling better. I'm not 100%. Still seems like I have some lingering problems going on. I'm sorry, the dogs are licking their feet and stuff, but I just wanted to do the little story time to tell you kind of what happened. I am glad to be home with my babies. They missed me. When I got home, they both were so excited. Wanted lovings for me. Nikki cried. She cried hysterically that her mommy was back. And it upset me so much also because when my husband left with the ambulance, he never came back. And I kept thinking, my poor little girl's going to think I'm never going to come back. Because I'm going to tell you what, all dogs are, but I can only speak about her because she's my baby. She is so smart, and she does not forget. And it just broke my heart thinking she probably thought I was never coming back home to her, like her, dad wasn't able to. But I did, and I'm here working on getting better. And I just appreciate all the love, concern, and comments. It just meant so much to me. It just touched my heart so much, honestly. And I'm just so thankful for each and every one of you. Thank you for giving those thumbs up, comment, and sharing. Guys, we're almost at 200,000. I didn't get to really celebrate my birthday or Mother's Day, so I want to have a big party. So let's get to 200,000 so we can have a big little bash together. And we'll plan that one out so everybody knows when and stuff like that. But if you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. I'll be happy to answer them as best as I can. But, we have to stop being afraid of calling for help when we need it because we're worried about the bills. I mean, had I known, I'm going to probably die if I stay here, of course I would have called, but I didn't know that. And I was still at that point debating on whether I really needed to call 911 because I was worried about the bills. But I'm happy I did. And I want to make one statement to a comment that was made. I don't normally do this, and you guys probably never saw the comment because it was held in review. This was a subscriber that has been with me for a long time that said I abused the system for taking an ambulance to the hospital for just a UTI. Well, I wish that subscriber would have watched the whole video because I was unconscious, I was unable to drive, and I almost died. So there's the answer to your question. I didn't abuse the system. I have to pay these bills. I pay for my own medical insurance. I pay my own bills. Nobody else does it for me. So please don't worry about it. Just worry about yourself. I love you guys. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.